I really believe that you cannot be judging yourself and learning at the same time, because judgment is sort of a conclusion. And in the case of right or wrong, a lot of times if you are judging yourself in this right or wrong zone, then you're not able to uncover a truth, because maybe the right or wrong is a hand-me-down. Somebody told you that's wrong or that's right. So you're holding on to that judgment. Maybe it's not how you really feel about it. And so the invitation again is, if you remove the right or wrong around whatever the thought or the idea, I give you options there. What do you really feel? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel disempowered? Do you feel clear? Do you feel excited? Do you feel resistance? It's all an invitation. And these are very, very important, very deep questions that help you, again, to unlock, unfold, reveal, discover, learn very important aspects of yourself. This is The Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Welcome back to The Roxanne Show. I am really, really excited about today's episode. I haven't done this before, but for those of you who don't know yet, I have a published guided and illustrated journal called You Are the Path. And I released her, I think it was 2 years ago now. I've talked about her, because she is a real presence. I've talked about her a lot through episodes. I certainly talk about journaling all the time because I've been journaling my entire life. And I always give it the most credit to being the tool that has really helped me develop the relationship, the self-bond that I have with myself. Today, though, this is going to be so much fun, and you're really going to want to stick around for this one. I actually brought her, You Are the Path, in. So this is You Are the Path, my guided and illustrated journal. All the incredible artwork and layout was done by my very dear friend, Emerald Paget. And what I want to do today, this journal is special, first of all, because it's a creation of mine. I want to talk about that and why that will be of value to you. Is you might be someone who has an idea that's living in your heart, right? Maybe there's an idea for anything that you want to create, that you want to express, that you want to put out in the world. And today, when I share the journey of how this journal came to be, my intention is, yes, to share that story with you. It's a fun story, but also to invite you and inspire you and hopefully motivate you to actually take action on whatever that idea is in your heart. In addition, I'm going to go through the individual sections of this journal, kind of explain what these sections are about to you, and read a prompt from some of these sections. This journal is designed to help you build the self-bond that I am always selling through all of my episodes. This is a relationship with your authentic self that is full of absolute self-love, self-ownership, self-confidence, self-worth, self-respect, self-trust, right? So these prompts definitely expand your self-awareness levels in addition to strengthening and expanding all of those attributes that I just listed out to you. So again, you're going to want to stay for the entire episode. You never know, one of these prompts could be the very prompt that you need right now in your life that unlocks a door within you, that helps you get closer to yourself, that gives you a solution, an answer, an idea that you really need right now, that you've been calling in for yourself. And above all else, it's always an invitation with me to take the deep dive, introspective journey into yourself so that you can really forge the bond that you need to create your unique life, not anyone else's idea of what your life needs to be or should be, but actually creating your unique life that's being developed from your authentic and unique self so that you can live a life of mastery and true fulfillment. Right, let's dive into You Are the Path. Before I read you a little bit of the intro, I feel like that's something to share. It's actually pretty sacred. I want to give you a little backstory. So You're the Path, the name of You Are the Path came through in my writing one day, journaling. And it was really amazing when it came through and actually how it came through. I remember circling You Are the Path, and I have a screen grab of it. And this was, I believe, maybe 10 years ago at this point. So it was a long time ago. And I was ultimately searching for some kind of answer. And then as I was journaling my way through that part of, wherever I was in my mind, I landed on this place where I said, I don't need to be shown the path. I am the path. You are the path. And it was literally like a mic drop moment in my mind. I was like, holy shit. And I circled it. You are the path. And when you really think about what that means, I mean, it's pretty simple. You are the path, right? So it's the journey of you. And fast forward, one day I'm sitting on my living room floor, and I remember this day so clearly. I mean, it was September. It was beautiful, summer, by the beach, people outside. I can see it like it's happening right now. And the idea came to me of creating a guided journal because, again, journaling is so deep for me. It's such a love, an eternal love. And I have the most reverence for it because it has really allowed me to know thyself, to really, really know who Roxanne is and continues to do so. And it does even more than that. I mean, but that in of itself it's everything. To truly know who you are is to unlock the greatest mystery of life. And it's truly, I believe, the most important thing that any one of us can and ultimately needs to do in our life. So to have my journal be there as my supportive tool to help me get there to this place with myself, to really know myself and to love myself and to really hold deep respect and trust in myself, for myself, is very sacred to me. So I will never, ever have enough words to express how important I believe journaling is. And I understand that not everybody just takes to it. I'm proud to say that I've turned a lot of people into journalers at this point. You can call it a diarist as well. And I plan to do a lot more of that throughout my career. I hope that this episode actually helps to convert you if you are not yet a person who journals. I hope by the end of this episode that you will decide to start the ritual of journaling. You can call it a practice too. I prefer ritual. Here is my definition of a ritual that may impact you in a unique way today. A ritual is a routine done with heart and soul. Say it again. A ritual is a routine done with heart and soul. Rituals for me are very feminine, the energy of feminine energy. Whereas routine, and I'm a very routine-based woman, so there's nothing wrong with a routine, but a routine is just a little bit more structured and more of that masculine energy. So when I go to my journal, and what I'm inviting you to think about as you go into yours, is to think of it more of a ritualistic experience because it really takes the edge off of it. A lot of people actually can feel intimidated by their journal. They feel this pressure that they need to be some phenomenal writer, poet. They have to have something really important. They're already judging, important to say, as if anything that they say isn't important. But the reality is that that's all just an upstairs experience that doesn't need to exist. But when you approach your journal from this ritualistic perspective, it just creates more of a relaxed, at ease, inner environment and experience for you to just unravel yourself into your journal, which is the goal. Just let it out, whatever it is. So back to my living room floor on this very special day, it just hit me. And when an idea hits like that, it's really special because it truly feels almost visceral, such to that, I'm reliving it right now as if it just happened. And I grabbed out my notebook and I start sketching. I start sketching and I start writing out all these prompts, just going with prompts. And I'm really good at that, actually. Prompts just come out of me, and likely because I've been writing my whole life. So I'm starting to collect this idea, and this was now 6 years ago. So again, journal came out 2 years ago. So it took 4 years from the inception of the idea to actually printing and releasing and getting this beautiful, beautiful journal. And again, I couldn't have done it without my girl, Emerald Paget. She's an incredible artist, and she really actually helped me to design the structure in a very, very special way. I mean, how often do you see black pages in a journal? But it's very on brand for me. So love you, Emerald. One thing that was also very important for me, because my journaling experience, I used to really just hate line journals. Hate is such a strong word, but at the time I was so rebelling against it because it felt too controlling to me. And this is in my early 20s where I was so just scrapping for my autonomy, just constantly. I mean, you could see it how I was navigating my life, period, where I was living and not taking the hard roads, career-wise, work-wise, just so that I can stay in states of passion and pursue what I really wanted to pursue and not just be confined to some job till I had to make money, which it wasn't easy, especially, Hawaii. I was living in New York City. But anyways, I'll save that for other episodes. So I was really all about these big sketchbooks. And I traveled so much at the time. It was pretty gnarly that I was always carrying this sketchbook, and I'd stick, tear out things in there and flyers and whatever else I was experiencing in my life at the time. So it was a thick sketchbook. And it was really important to me, though, because I would write upside down, whatever my emotions, wherever they were, I would actually express my emotions just like that on the journal. And that's why the lines really irritated me, too, because they were just too... they didn't give me the freedom that I wanted and needed at that time. Fast forward into my 30s, where I actually started to appreciate the lines. I didn't feel that they were confining me anymore. And that's probably because at that point I got to a place where nothing could confine me. So line journals were not going to confine me and keep me in some kind of smaller lane. But instead, I found that the lines actually helped me to be more directional. And that's really how I was queuing up my whole life throughout my 30s. I was getting more clear and directional and very specific and focused towards very specific and focused goals, right? Throughout my life period, career, health, material, financial, etc. And I also felt that the lines helped to produce more of a refined approach to my writing. And the 30s for me certainly it was the decade of refinement. Your 20s are wild. I'm always wild, but there was a lot of messy wild too. And then the 30s really refined the wild so that my wilds could be sophisticated. And then 40s just, it's all of that on much heightened levels. So it was very important to me creating my first journal to give you the experience of both lined and freestyle blank pages. And I have never, ever seen a journal, even to this day, that gives you both. So that is huge. And to find a manufacturer who would do that was not easy, which is also why it took 4 years. I mean, there were other reasons too, but I'll just show you, so you have the blank pages, right? There's a personal quote from me in every section, and then Emma's beautiful Emerald's artwork, right? So then there, I don't know if you can see it much, but there's the line pages as well, right? And that was really important. So for me, the idea was if I'm going to put my name on something, if I'm giving birth to this idea, I'm not one to do anything half-assed, period. I'm a full-ass kind of woman. And I don't like shortcuts. There were many paths I could have taken with the journal that would have made it a lot easier on me financially, time-wise. I could have made a journal that was print on demand. And so you buy it, they print it right there. I don't have to store all these journals. And, there's an overhead that comes with that. And the reason why I'm giving you those details is because, again, you might be someone who has an idea and you're sitting on it and you're hesitating. But I will tell you this, if it's an idea that you truly feel in your heart and it doesn't go away, I would not ignore that. Now, look, for me, it took 4 years to put this out into the world. But the time that it took was not just because, it was certainly not because I was pushing it to the side because it wasn't important. It took that long because I was so intentional and specific about what I wanted from this journal, how I wanted to bring it out into the world, and then having the resources to actually bring it all together. So it's fine if it takes however long it takes to get your idea out. But the message that I really want to just bring to center here is just don't sleep on it, especially if it's something that's really you can't ignore. It's not going away. Ideas can come in and out, and some are fleeting, and those to me are they're not the idea that you're in alignment with in that moment. Maybe the idea comes back at another time, and maybe then it is. But the idea that just doesn't go away, that you just can't stop thinking about, is the idea that is literally going, hey, I need your attention. We have work to do. And I understand that, whatever your idea is, it could really present the question of how that just haunts you because you don't have the answer, right? It could be something that's really, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different ideas that are constantly living in this life. And it's not easy to bring an idea to life, that's for sure. That's why it's so fucking spectacular when an idea actually does get the chance to come alive. But I'm really wanting to drill this into your beautiful minds and your hearts. And perhaps even this is the sign that you've been needing or looking for. This is your cue to just take action and even take some initial steps. If it's something that you sketch out, if it's something that you just start making calls on, if it's something that you need to just research on, just what I'm saying is start to move some action towards that idea. And then it's really amazing what happens when you start to do that. It's all an energy thing. You're putting energy towards it. And then that energy gives you more. And then you give it more. And then all of a sudden, you've moved down this line where you're actually producing the idea. So, and then boom, it comes alive. All right. So let me read you a little bit of the intro. And then I'll move into, I'll list out the sections and I'll read a couple of prompts. I won't go through every section. I'll do another episode for sure where I could read more prompts. But of course, you can buy my journal on my website, ROXANNESAFFAIE.com. And I would love for you to have her. She's incredible. Okay, so the intro starts as follows. How would you feel to have a loyal and loving teammate who would rise to any occasion at any moment in your life, to support you, to listen to you, to advise you, to ground you, to secure you, to nourish you, to nurture you, to love you, to inspire you, to empower you? How would it feel to know that no matter what your reality holds and what uncertainties you face, your loyal, loving teammate unconditionally shows up to support you? How would you feel knowing this badass teammate would hold you accountable when you need to be held accountable? Who would hug you in spirit when all of your heart needs it? Would you feel more confident? Would you feel more loved? Would you feel more supported? Would you feel more secure? Would you feel braver? Would you feel more inspired? Would you feel more capable? Would you feel more at ease? Would you feel more unstoppable? Would you feel more unbreakable? Would you feel more whole? What if you knew that you can access your loyal, loving teammate, your soulmate, and inner muse to harness your alignment with your highest path in life at every moment of your life? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can. I'm here to express this empowered being is intrinsically within you. I know because I've discovered, cultivated, and synthesized with this highest frequency of me. She's my North Star. She's my intuition. She's my coach. She's my ride or die. She is my best friend. She is my soulmate. She is my teammate. She is my eternal muse. She is with me every single day, every step of my way in life. From our incessant teamwork, I continue to discover inspired and fulfilling ways to thrive in my life. I am living in the arena of self-mastery and traveling through the path of self-actualization with my muse as my teammate. As a result, my life has never felt more empowered and enriched with self-love. As far back as I can remember, I've had a deep love affair with writing, more specifically, journaling. It was undoubtedly my first true love in life. This revered love has only grown deeper throughout my life. I have to say, honestly, music was my first love, and then came writing. Okay. Because I thought about that. I'm like, oh, it was actually music first. Okay. My thirsty need to roll ink over vast open pages of unlimited possibilities feels insatiable. Many view journaling as a high-performance tool, and as a high performer, I would agree. And yet, as a young girl who felt constant urgency to express my most honest self across the unlimited possibilities of empty pages, journaling was not a means for me to perform better in my life. Journaling was the pathway to understanding, to connecting, to discovering, to creating, to fortifying, and loving myself. It is my favorite room to frolic in, unleashed with absolute honesty, zero judgment or expectations. It's home to liberating my purest emotions, my wildest ideas, and insightful cerebral adventures. It's where my heart and my mind dance through life together as a force of one. Journaling has elevated my self-awareness on the highest level while deeply rooting me into the wholeness that comes with self-connection. Both have helped my development and the steadiness of true self-love and the genuine self-confidence that robustly lives within me. The magnitude of being enriched with those four essential components to self-mastery and self-actualization continue to develop and fortify the ultimate empowerment tool, self-trust. Self-trust is the unstoppable force that continues to position me to reach higher within myself throughout my life. Self-trust is the intangible tool that stretches me to discover more of who I am and what I'm capable of actualizing in my life. Now, there's more here, but I will let you read the rest if you choose to adopt her. Now I want to actually go through some of the journal prompts. So I'll first read the sections just to bring you into awareness of what this journal actually contains. So section number 1 is objective lens. So this is where I invite you to get into a student mindset. And if you've been listening to this podcast for some time now, you know I'm always talking about trading your self-judgment for curiosity and putting on the student lens, right? So the prompts in this section invite you into the student mindset. Next is positive architecting. Positive architecting section, all of these sections are very, very important. Positive architecting helps you to pivot any disempowered beliefs, thoughts, narratives into empowered, loving, respectful narratives. Conscious presence is the third section. Conscious presence is where you are really working to bring yourself into the present moment. I mean, it's almost a section that's like a meditation, right? Meditation is to bring yourself into the present moment for the most part. And so this section, the prompts invite you to do that. Very, very important practice for all of us to continue, getting better at throughout our lives. The next section, mental landscaping. So this is where I invite you to think about your mind as a garden. And this is where you're going to plant some very empowered affirmations, thoughts, words, anything that you want to bloom in your mind that's going to help you thrive in your life. These prompts help you to do that. Next section is creative expression. So this is where I'm really encouraging the artist that you are, right? Your life is your art. So you are an artist. And this section, the prompts invite you to really dive into your creativity and to have the courage to do so, because creativity actually takes guts. It's not easy. A lot of people back down and even maybe can hear me say, you're an artist, and feel like I'm not an artist, because we've painted this picture that, an artist is someone who's very eccentric and, has the paintbrushes or creates the music, but your life is your art. So you are an artist. The next section, future self. If you don't know yet how much this section means to me, because perhaps you're new, and if you're new, welcome. So happy to have you here. But future self is very, very important. I mean, I have a whole course on your future self, how to get clear on your future self and to actually create a connection with your future self. So the prompts here are sort of an entry point into getting clear and connecting with your highest ideal future self. And the final section is called rolling ink. So that's, you may have caught that in the intro, but that's always how I framed my writing experience in journaling. I'm just going to roll some ink right now. And this is actually the section where you have the blank pages. So you could just freestyle and have fun in that empty page of endless possibilities. So I'm going to read a prompt first from Objective Lens and also read the quote. So this quote is so special. I've talked about it before. It's very, very powerful and will stay with me for the rest of my life. So the quote is, "Nothing means anything except the meaning you decide to give to it." And I got to show Emerald's art because it's incredible. So butterfly is the theme of You Are the Path. So beautiful. Nothing means anything except the meaning you decide to give to it. Straight up. It's pretty simple, but it's very special because it came to me one day in meditation in discussion with my muse, also known as my future self, my highest self. I was in some state of uncertainty, not having an answer, sort of kind of troubled energy. And I was asking her for support. And her response to me was, "Nothing means anything except the meaning you decide to give to it." She's so good like that. She doesn't tell me what to do. She just reminds me of what I know. She asks me questions. She is, and again, my muse, my highest self, future self, so that I can unlock the parts of me that are gatekeeping the answers. So it's never a handout to me. She respects me too much. She knows that that's actually not going to be the help that I really need in the moment. The help is just for me to remember who I am and what is inherently already within me. So I share that with you to give it back to you, to remind you that you have all the answers. The reason why this self-inquiry work is so important is because there's so many reasons why, but one reason that goes with what I just shared is because it does help you unlock so much of the answers, the solutions, the ahas, material that you crave to feel more harmony inside, to feel more free inside. It's within you. But you have to be willing to sit with yourself, to ask the questions, to be brave enough to go so deep inside of yourself with that student lens, that student mindset, full honesty. You're at the highest level of vulnerability. I mean, it takes guts to do that. But when you can actually do that and that becomes a normal for you, not only are you going to get to know who you truly are, but you're also going to know what really matters to you. You're also going to gain the insights that you need to create the life that you truly want to live. So this is really, it's priceless work. You could do as much work out here as possible, and it's all important too. But to me, it's secondary to the work inside of here. It all starts within here. So nothing means anything except the meaning you decide to give to it. That just unlocks so much for me. So a prompt in objective lens. Let me see which one I'm going to read to you. If I release right or wrong judgment around this thought or idea, how does it make me feel? If I release right or wrong judgment around this thought or idea, how does it make me feel? So the invitation there, because right or wrong is just judgment, right? And sometimes it's appropriate to use right or wrong. And sometimes judgment is appropriate, right? By the looks of the car coming towards me, I'm going to judge that it's not a good time to walk across the street, right? Self-judgment is very interesting though, because I really believe that you cannot be judging yourself and learning at the same time. You just can't. You can't be judging and learning at the same time, period. I don't, because judgment is sort of a conclusion. And in the case of right or wrong, a lot of times if you are judging yourself in this right or wrong zone, then you're not able to uncover a truth, because maybe the right or wrong is a hand-me-down. Somebody told you that's wrong or that's right. So you're holding on to that judgment. But maybe it's not how you really feel about it. And so the invitation again is, if you remove the right or wrong around whatever the thought or the idea, I give you options there, what do you really feel? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel disempowered? Do you feel clear? Do you feel excited? Do you feel resistance? It's all an invitation. And these are very, very important, very deep questions that help you, again, to unlock, unfold, reveal, discover, learn very important aspects of yourself. Okay, positive architecting. So again, we're going to pivot limiting beliefs, thoughts, anything that's really imprisoning you and keeping you down. We're going to pivot that to the reverse. And I will show you the beautiful artwork and the quote. So the quote here is, wherever I'm looking is where I'm going. Wherever I'm looking is where I'm going. Pretty self-explanatory. You believe that where attention goes, energy flows, and I certainly do, then that's the whole meaning behind that quote of mine. Wherever you're looking, wherever you're directing your attention to is where you're going to head. So if you're, looking at things that don't feel good, that are disempowering, that are not healthy, that are negative, well, you're just driving yourself further into all of that. But if you're looking in the opposite, if you're looking at winning, if you're looking at inspiration, if you're looking at creativity, if you're looking at flourishment, vitality, you're driving yourself towards that. I'm a surfer. When you catch a wave, wherever your eyes are, your body's going to follow. It's the same kind of concept, right? So this is why a lot of people, it's not the only reason, but a lot of people, when you go to surf or catch a wave, you fall because you're just looking down at your board. But what you want to do, and it takes time to get to this place, is you want to paddle into the wave and you want to be looking down the wave, because when you're looking down the wave, your body actually follows your eyes. It's pretty rad. Okay, a prompt from Positive Architecting. I know that if I give my full commitment to this, I will experience. I know that if I give my full commitment to this, I will experience. So it's a ... right? if you give your full commitment to this, whatever this is, so let's just say if I give my full commitment to this renewal of my health life, right? You want to become stronger. You want to be more intentional about your nutrition. You want more vitality. You want to optimize your sleep performance. If you give your full commitment to this could be insert whatever matters to you, I will experience, right? So now you're going to put yourself in that position where you're actually visualizing and thinking about your full commitment to this particular thing that matters to you, and you're journaling about what that experience will give you because of full commitment. Commitment's so important. I've done a masterclass on this for my girls in Queendom. It's huge. It's everything. And the interesting thing about commitment is 99% commitment is exhausting. Doesn't work. Commitment 100% works. And the reason why 99% doesn't work is because it gives you a back door. There's an out. You can't have an out with commitment. It's all fucking in. It's all in. And when you are all in, that means every part of your being is locked and loaded towards that goal. No excuses. End of story. So in this case, I'll repeat it one more time for you. I know that if I give my full commitment to this X, insert your thing that you would like to put, to make happen, to upgrade, to start, to any of that, you will experience what? It's a really good one. One more. Mental landscaping. So again, this is your garden. Your mind is a garden. What are you blooming? Certainly don't want weeds in there, right? You want it to be colorful and fragrant and invigorating and a place that you really actually want to spend time in. I really love spending time in my mind. It's kind of the joke about being an introvert. I'm very introverted, but the truth is that I'm really just comfortable in my own energy. I like to be in here. I'd rather be in here a lot of times than out there. If out here energy is superficial, artificial, and not honest, no thanks. I don't give a fuck how cool that event is. I'm not interested in being there. Side note. Okay, so this one is one of my favorites. I mean, I love all, of course. I'm biased, but no, really. I am the ruler of my domain. I'm the ruler of my domain. And look at her. So gorgeous. Emerald. We'll put a link to her website in this in the show notes. Okay, a prompt from Mental Landscaping. I feel more confident every time I feel more confident every time I mean, I can give you my answers. It's a long list. I'll give you one of my answers for sure. I feel more confident when I say I'm going to do something and I do it. And that's a through line for me because my words really fucking matter to me, right? It really actually goes into the whole self-trust conversation. But I certainly rack more levels and get more stripes on my self-confident belt when I actually do the thing that I said I was going to do, irrespective of the outcome. Doesn't matter. Didn't do that great, failed, got rejected, fucking whatever, missed the mark. Doesn't matter. Did I do it? Did I say I was going to do it and I did it? If I did, that definitely gives me more confidence because it's this constant willingness to move towards the goal, no matter how challenging it may be. If I attach my words that say I'm gonna do it, then I have to do it. And every time I do it, I not only trust myself more because I can believe myself, but it's this piece where it didn't matter how difficult, how scary, how challenging, how unsure maybe I felt in the moving forward. The point is, I said I was going to do it and I did it. And that gives me more confidence. So, yeah, so these are just a couple quotes. I mean, there's a handful of quotes for every section again. And I don't talk about You Are the Path enough. I thought about that today. As a creator, every week we have a new episode. I'm constantly in creation mode. And this is one of a very huge part of my work, but there's, other aspects of my work too. And when you're constantly creating, it can be very easy to forget about the things that you create and maybe not even celebrate it as much and not give as much credit as it deserves. And, You Are the Path came out 2 years ago, and she's still, she's so sacred to me. And maybe this episode is really an ode to you, You're the Path. But ultimately, aside from wanting to share her magic and to give you those prompts and the quotes and the ideas that I shared with them, but I also wanted to invite you to think really about the whole idea on ideas, right? Let me say that again. Hold on. I really wanted you to also think about moving towards an idea that is living in your heart. Again, an idea that you can feel very strongly, an idea that's not going away. You Are the Path has already made her way into so many lives around the world. And what an honor. Now this journal is supporting the lives of the women who received this journal, who got this journal. And what a gift back to me. And none of it would have happened if I didn't execute on the idea. So think about your idea, whatever your idea is. It's not all just about you. It's also about what the idea can do for others. You don't necessarily have to let that be the driver. It's not a bad idea if you do, but it's important to also think about that concept. If Steve Jobs didn't execute on his idea, maybe the world would be a better place. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, we would not. I would not be able to do as much as I'm doing, or any one of us is doing in the world, because of his courage to execute on the idea. That many ideas actually that he had that are so ingenious. And I actually have a lot of reverence for him. So anyways, I hope that this episode inspired you, that you will take action on your ideas, that you will start journaling if you don't already, that you will check out You Are the Path on my site and perhaps order her and dive into the rest of these very, very supportive prompts that help you live with more mastery and adventure through the path of self-actualization. I'd love to know if this episode inspired you in any of those ways. Please leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. It's actually very important for the channel. It helps the channel grow. You can always connect with me on Instagram. You could DM me there. I'm at Roxy Look, ROXYLOOK. And thank you. Thank you to all of you who are, every week there's new reviews and 5-star ratings coming in for the podcast, and it moves me, it moves my team. We so appreciate you. Thank you for that. And if you have not already given the podcast a 5-star rating review, there's a very, very, very easy link for you to do that. That's in the show notes or the description box in YouTube. I thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you have the best time with You Are the Path. If you do get her, there's a link in the show notes where you can purchase her as well. And to be continued on all things You Are the Path. See you on the next one. Queen, this is your call to greatness. If you are ready, and I mean truly ready, to shift anything in your outer experience, your outer reality, your finances, your health, your relationship, anything career related, anything spiritual, any shift that you want to make that has to do with your reality has to first start with shifting who you are, your self-identity. My Future Self digital course is your supportive blueprint that helps you achieve this. the inner shapes the outer. So when you get crystal clear on your core beliefs, your core values, your core desires, your high heart goals, when you learn how to rewrite parts of your past that maybe don't feel so great and instead leverage those experiences to be fuel for you to expand and to grow, this is how you start to change the game behind the game of life, which all starts and ends with you. I've designed this course from my heart, soul, and experience to be a femininely fierce experience for you to uncover and connect with your most authentic self. And as a Future Self student, you get 3 months free membership access to Queendom. This is where we really get to connect. Queendom is such a rad, sacred, empowered space where every month you get a live Q&A call with me so we can connect and troubleshoot any area of your life that you would like, or just get some encouragement from me as well as the other queens in the community. This is a really sacred space, and I will see you in Queendom.